Wealth, yoga, wine. Love during a pandemic. Matt Boggs teaches us 3 relationship secrets. He takes us all the way back 3 million years to the time of cavemen and cave women. These are scientific studies. It's not theory, it's not logic. The first one is cavemen, their DNA is to be hunters and gatherers. The cavemen would leave their dwelling and go and hunt for lunch, dinner, breakfast. It could take days. They usually were gone days. What happens when the caveman has gone hunting and he's sitting there waiting for the prey? He stays quiet. He can stay quiet for days, for hours. What happens when he returns to the cave? Well, one thing, his cave woman has been multitasking. She's been watching the cave baby. She's been watching the cave fire. Her cave girlfriend might be over complaining about how her caveman doesn't understand anything she says. When the caveman returns with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, he presents it to his cave woman. What happens next? This is important. He presents it to the cave woman. Now, this is their sustenance. This has immediately improved their lifestyle. She receives it gratefully, being appreciative and being thankful. Think about this. This innate attribute for both of them actually correlates with our environment and our reactions and our communication with all of us, whether it's in school, whether it's in our corporate environment, whether it's at home with our siblings, our spouse. Put yourself in a corporate environment and someone presents you with an opportunity, a promotion, a raise, something that's going to improve your life, your well-being, your lifestyle immediately. What do you do? Well, from now on, I hope you're extremely grateful and appreciative to that person, and you will communicate that. The second aspect of relationship secrets is words. Scientific studies have shown that men have, on the average, 7,000 words that they use. Women, on average, have 20,000 words that they use. Now think about that. By the time men are done during the day, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever, they're tired of talking. Whereas we women, we have 13,000 more words to use. And that's a lot of communication misunderstanding. Take this back again to the work environment. What can be suggested here is that when you have men and women in work teams, and the men feel like they have said enough, they have expressed enough, certainly let the women take over and contribute their inherent 20,000 words. Obviously, you can divvy up this work. The women can do their own presentation using their own amount of words, and the men can do their own presentations using their own amount of words. What's important to understand here is that this is innate, that men inherently are quiet at the end of the day. Women still have a lot to talk about. The last relationship skill out of Matt's 3 that he talks about is vision. Women have more cones in their retinas, which allows them to see differently. Their vision is differently, it's peripheral. But we also have, those cones also allow us to see different colors, meaning we can see mauve, we can see chartreuse, we can see orange. Men see red, blue, green. So if you're doing a color chart and there are a whole bunch of men in the room, make it simple, red, blue, and green. If you're going to use fancy colors, be sure to point out with the PowerPoint that you're using mauve and chartreuse. The other aspect of vision, which has been scientifically proven, is that men see in the distance far better than women do. Whereas women, remember, they're back in the cave, they're managing the cave baby, the cave fire, and their cave girlfriend. We inherently can multitask, whereas men are focused on that far-off object, which they're hoping is going to be a wild boar or a wild pig. These 3 relationship skills are so easy for us to understand and to use. And Matt designates how important it is for us to embrace these 3 basic relationship skills in order that you will never be misunderstood again. Your communication skills will be so clear, concise, and precise. Knowing these basic relationship skills, you're going to enter a whole new universe of communication skills. Kundalini yoga. I have studied this for 26 years. It's the only yoga I have ever studied. It is spiritual. It believes in all religions. It encompasses all religions. It believes in the infinite. It also has a scientific balance to it. A few years ago, I was teaching a class to senior citizens over at the Gulfport Rec Center. We chant. Some people are uncomfortable with that, and I always ask, do you want to do some chanting to open up the session? Some people are okay, and some people just don't know. The way we open a Kundalini yoga session is with these words: Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. What that provides is you are opening yourself to the infinite, to the spiritual. You're centering yourself to begin this new session of improving your aura, improving your mindset, improving yourself. During one of the classes, I was doing the chant after I asked. As we moved along through some of the kriyas, one of the women said, "Oh, I can't do that. It's too much like voodoo. I feel like I'm doing voodoo here." Oh, my goodness. That class ended a little earlier than I had planned, and I walked down to the rec center's office, spoke to the manager, and I said, "This is not working. I've been studying Kundalini yoga for 26 years. I've never had it called voodoo. Therefore, I don't teach Kundalini yoga. But when you go to my website, click on yoga, and I have virtual teachers there. Hara Prakash is my favorite teacher in all the world, so you can take virtual classes from her. And if you're in Hudson Valley, New York, you can actually go and visit her studio. I think I mentioned that she is doing yoga for kids now too, outside in Woodstock. Lastly, wine. I am a big fan of South African wines, largely because they are naturally organic. They don't have to treat their wines with pesticides, but a lot of the French, do you know I'm a Francophile? A lot of the French have vineyards over there also. Therefore, a lot of the wines from South Africa have a really nice French touch to them. One of the reasons I am so enamored and I stayed in the wine industry for so long, over 26 years, is because I love the history, I love the culture, I love learning about the different people in the history and how certain things came about in their business of producing wines. The South Africans are famous for a barbecue that's called BRAII. Just like Americans love their barbecues, the South Africans love their BRAII. When I was working in the city, we were absolutely blessed to have all of these South African vintners come and barbecue for us. We were on the top of a penthouse, and I'm a vegetarian, but they were grilling vegetables and they were grilling shrimp, so I ate a little bit of fish. And their culture, to see all of these vintners get together and have fun, they've all known each other because That's one of the industries where it's very spirited to visit each other and talk to each other, learn about each other's practices, taste each other's wines. They're friends. It's like a huge family in South Africa. And I believe if you're looking for a really good career, I don't know what it's like in Florida. I don't think they pay as well as they did in New York. I would strongly suggest that you start looking at importers and distributors. And if you need more information, simply reach out to my email, which is on my podcast. Certainly it's on my website. And I can help you with finding out the really good importers and distributors, because there's some bad ones out there. To wrap this up, the 3 secrets of relationships, especially during a pandemic. It's important that we learn these basics of when someone is improving your life, they are presenting something amazing to you. Be thankful and grateful and appreciative. And if you know you still need to talk, women, when men are finished, you can devise a really great plan to get your communication skills through. And of course, vision, yes, we know that. That's why women are pretty good at multitasking, even though it's overrated. And of course, Kundalini Yoga, go on my website. It is powerful to chant. It's expressive. It brings more things to you, such as prosperity, calmness, serenity. And lastly, why don't you visit South Africa? I don't even know what's going on there as far as COVID, but I think they've handled it pretty well. The vineyards in South Africa are stunning, amazing, and you can attend many, many BRAII. I am not a life consultant. I'm not a life coach. I produce this podcast every week to help hundreds of people improve their lifestyles with 3 easy topics. Merci.